Oh, good evening, everybody. It's been about a week or 9 days since I last did a video. I've been a little bit distracted during that time. I've got a combination of what I've been doing here, which is some of the figures are finished and complete with Culloden Moor Heather, and some of the other ones I think I showed before. These ones I'm still working on with the plain bases. I've done some Royal Scots, Grenadiers, and I'm just doing some, I believe I've gone for the 13th Regiment, and quite, got into a bit of a routine now, but unfortunately last Saturday evening, my mother, who was in hospital, not coronavirus, but COPD, like breathing difficulties, and also her kidneys started to fail a little bit, and I couldn't see her because of the coronavirus. Had shut down the whole hospital, but they called me about 6 last Saturday, and unfortunately while I was at the bedside she died. And it's I mean, my dad died in 1993. I don't remember an awful lot about that, but very close to Mum, and so was my wife, as a matter of fact, and they got on very well. And she was always phoning me, and a lot of the time, I have to say, I got a bit irritated by the fact she would phone 4 or 5 or so many times a day, and I would certainly on occasions shut her off, just say, oh, I've got to go, I can't talk anymore. And I'd take her groceries in 2 or 3 times a week, but I would, I thought, she was going to go on for years. Although she was 87, she was indestructible. She got through cancer and everything. And, obviously it's cut me up a bit now, those times when I could have stayed at a place for a little bit longer, and I didn't. And no, just to say, amongst all the mayhem, as I said, it was nothing to do with the virus in the end, but not being able to go down for the whole week to the hospital to get admittance to the ward because the whole hospital had been shut down in North London. It was pretty hard, and what made it even worse, so I missed one phone call from her at the beginning of the week, and that was when she was at her most clear and alert. After they started giving her medications and steroids and God knows what else, when I finally got to talk to her about Tuesday onwards, she wasn't quite as clear as she'd been. Anyway, that's it is what it is, as they say in America. Didn't mean to get quite so distracted, but I think they say it's good to talk, and you guys are good listeners, so if you could forgive me for that diversion. Yeah, I'm proceeding with these figures. I'm quite enjoying doing them in small numbers. My problem before is I've got about 50 or 60 figures out, and I really, I get dismayed by looking at them undercoated or in various stages of paintwork. But here, if you do 4 government or British troops and 4 Jacobites, it actually it's not too long before you've got all the colours blocked in, and things are starting to look a little bit better. For the first time in my life, I've not just I'm not a professional at all in any way, quite clearly, but for the first time in my life, I've not just dumped scarlet on and called it red coats. I've actually mixed a few colours, dark red, lighter red, and a dry brushing, and tried to get a little bit more weather-worn colour scheme for the British troops. The Grenadiers, as I say, what I've gone for is the Royal North British Fusiliers, a relatively short-lived regiment, and the Royal Scots Fusiliers, and unless I'm getting myself mixed up, but I was going by way of the two the two Osprey books, which have been quite useful. That's the picture you've got there is that is a Royal Scots Fusilier, and the next picture on the right, number 3, is in proper campaign uniform with a, you know, the hat, the brim down, and he's looking very, you know, much on campaign, worn down British trooper. These are from some illustrations from the Pennycook, if I've pronounced that correct, chap who illustrated British troops passing through Edinburgh in 1745, and it shows what the reality could be. But the Royal North British Fusiliers, all Royal regiments had blue trousers, and also the contrary to what is shown here, white was clearly not a very good colour of gaiter for sort of the Highlands in you know, any time really, particularly on Culloden Moor. So I've rung the changes with the gaiters. You know, they sort of like some of them have got a beige gaiter. He's not finished yet, but some of the ones that I have finished, the Royal regiments, the gaiters are even in black. Got a bit of heather going on there, and the other thing is I've been using a product called Vallejo water texture. It says you've got to apply it thinly, and I've been applying it 2-3 times or more, and I'm just starting to get the effect that I was looking for. I was up at Culloden last year, and we were up there in June, but the ground was still squelchy to the touch, and 2-3 coats of this give pretty much what I was actually experiencing when up there. The ground is actually sodden. You know, this is one of the bare-chested Highlanders that I did earlier, and I've also done a few of the chaps carrying muskets, which apparently they didn't think too much of the muskets. They took one shot and threw them down, and vast numbers of Jacobite muskets were discovered after the battle, but relatively few claymores, and that was because they weren't giving them up easily. But I'm still trying to obtain some flags. Maverick models, who I normally get my flags from, have got a range of Jacobite and British flags for the period coming, but not just yet. What else have we got here now to show you? Here's one of the Royal Scots. Quite enjoy these new line figures, and again the base with that watery effect. As I say, having seen Culloden, I mean, I saw it when it was forest. They'd planted forests there, and then the National Trust removed that, and they've also purchased the adjacent parts of the field that were featured in the battle, and so you've got a much more accurate idea of what you're looking at now. Another thing I discovered, just out of curiosity's sake, was the last battle magazine from October 1978, which was basically before the magazine became military modelling, or became part of military modelling. But anyway, look, I shall be back when I've recovered somewhat. Still, my head is not in a good place, but I shall be back, and I thank you all for listening. Hope I haven't sort of sidetracked too much, but this is my workbench also, by the way. I should say my Ramble workbench, which I purchased some years ago, and because I live in a flat, it's pretty much goes with me in every room. So a bit congested there with paints at the moment, but yeah, I'm doing okay now, and I'm hoping that yeah, after the funeral, I'll be able to get my head together a little bit. But in the meantime, this is a tremendous help. I mean, it really is. I came back on the day she died, and just went straight into painting, and my God, what a therapy! It kept me together. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and you know, all the best to all of you, and enjoying your videos, and look forward to seeing more of the same. And as I say, I shall pick myself up and get on with these guys. I've certainly got plenty to do, and enjoying it, and not only enjoying it, but finding it an extraordinary therapy. And yeah, I'll shift these out of the way soon, and pick on another bag or two to work on. But at the moment, just finishing up here. You know, I'm quite happy with the basing with that water effect, and looking forward to next year, and the hope that we're going to be back at Salute and meeting up, and just having a thorough good time, and that this ruddy nightmare is going to be at an end finally. It's starting to get back to normal a bit here. McDonald's still not open, which I always regard as a sign of return to normality, but don't eat a lot of it, but I just like them being there for a coffee. You know, it's just a place to go. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Take care, and happy modelling and painting and wargaming to you all. Thank you.